SmackDown review for the September 6th episode of SmackDown. I'm Will, that's Brandon. We are the Cousins of Destruction Wrestling Podcast. As always, let's cheers, talk about some wrestling, huh?
Yeah, an end of an era. Last SmackDown on Fox, moving to USA next week. So.
A good change, in my opinion.
Yes.
Good change.
Needed, for sure.
Yeah, good change. But started out with the American Nightmare, our champion, Cody Rhodes. He comes to the ring. Shouts out Michael Cole for being here. He's on SmackDown now with the change from Raw with Joe Tessitore now taking over that lead role over there, as we talked about earlier.
Yeah, we got Michael Cole and Corey Graves. I told you I really like them together. Like, if we're not going to get Pat, and I know Pat can get on people's nerves, I really like Corey Graves.
Michael Cole's just the GOAT. It's kind of what it comes down to. So
might be controversial. People might fight you on that one.
Well, he comes out and he shouts Michael Cole out, and then he goes, I'm not dumb. I'm used to this. I know that when I start talking, people are going to interrupt me, so I'm just going to go ahead and invite them out. Bloodline, come on out. They come on out, all of them. Solo tells Fatu and all of them to stay outside the ring. He wants to go talk to Cody in the ring. Solo goes, so, you ready to defend that title against me? He says, I had you beat at SummerSlam if it wasn't for Roman Reigns. I deserve a rematch. And Cody goes, next week, the season premiere of SmackDown on the USA Network. I know that the WWE title should be defended against a guy who deserves it. And then he goes on to talk about all these accolades of this guy. He stepped out of the shadow of the tribal chief, dominated. And Solo is kind of in there like, oh, you're talking me up a little bit. I like that. I do deserve this. And then Cody peeks his head across Solo's shoulder and goes, you, Jacob Fatu, you deserve a title shot. Crowd goes nuts here. Crowd's like, yeah, he does. Good point, Cody.
Yeah, I think everybody, the rumor was always that they kind of delayed Fatu because he would outshine Solo. And they were not wrong on that one. He has exceeded. I had pretty high expectations for him, and he still exceeded those expectations.
He is so awesome. So awesome. But, we don't hear him talk very much. So he's outside the ring, and he creeps up to the apron. He gets on the apron, and him and Solo, mostly Solo, are saying things to each other. You can't hear it because we don't have the mics on them. But then, by the end of their conversation, Fatu does his patented, I love you, Solo. I love you, Solo. And so he just says, I love you, backs away from the apron, gets down. And so the assumption is that Jacob Fatu will not be accepting the challenge by the champion. And Cody's like, it was worth a try. He says that. He goes, it was worth a shot. Solo, you're wearing that Ulafala, which means that you represent the current bloodline for whatever you are. So I guess you're the one that's getting that challenge. Solo then replies, thank you for accepting in a dick way. And he goes, but we don't need to wait till next week. Bloodline surrounds the ring. They get into the ring. It's 4v1 Cody Rhodes. Who's going to help Cody Rhodes? Not Kevin Owens. It's DIY and the Street Profits. They come into the ring because they got a 8-man tag team match later tonight in the main event. Nick Aldis he must have a front row ticket to the show because he was there.
I don't know where he came from. He was in like a red suit, so I would be able to recognize. I don't know where he came from.
He's a big dude, but he came out of nowhere like the damn Undertaker, and he's just there and he's ready to make it all official. He's like, you guys don't touch each other right now because you guys are in the main event of tonight's show. And then, of course, Cody Rhodes and Solo Sikoa, you guys should be in the main event next week. But Nick Aldis goes, I don't want any bloodline drama. So it's going to be Solo versus Cody Rhodes at the season premiere of SmackDown for the WWE Championship inside of a steel cage. This is all great. I liked all this. We're getting a steel cage match to premiere SmackDown next week. Yeah. Pop.
Yeah, I'm going to pop this as well. I guess I'll start with Cody. All the accolades he had and the way he kind of just weaved around and tiptoed around Solo. And then to go after Jacob, which everybody knows Jacob's kind of just waiting, just a matter of time. So they're already starting to plant those seeds, which is nice because we admitted, we've talked about it before, they kind of need to get the ball rolling on that stuff.
Yeah, they
do. So great to see that. I'm really excited to eventually see Fatu in that spot, as we'll get to later in the tag match. He shined.
Do you think they'll ever get him to that spot? Or do you think that would be towing the line of like doing the exact same thing that Solo has done with Roman. You know, it's like, how many times can you do the Padawan betrays the master type deal and goes on to, you know?
Yeah.
As much as I want to see it, don't get me wrong. Jacob Fatu versus Cody Rhodes would tear the house down.
Mhm.
And I hope we get it one day, but it just feels like in order to get there, we'd have to have Fatu turn on Solo in some way.
Yeah.
And it'd be like, well, that's exactly what we're doing right now with Solo.
Yeah, there's a lot that has to happen. I don't know. When I talk about being ready for it, I don't know if they pull the trigger with Fatu and Cody. I feel like that would be kind of more Bloodline stuff. And unless you have like a turn, like you said, and then it's like a face-to-face, hey, you deserve this sort of thing. Maybe just eventually down the line, Fatu does get an opportunity versus whoever. He deserves it, in my opinion. He's already one of the top guys on SmackDown. I think most people would agree with that. As for the steel cage, we get a steel cage match. Nothing better. We want to see. I have 2 requests.
Oh.
One, I want the blue cage back.
Oh.
Not going to happen.
Never.
But I want the blue cage back. And I want the escape only over the top.
If they cut it's going to happen, right? There's going to be a door in that cell, and immediately it's going to take me out of the stipulation is therefore meaningless. It's going to be awesome. I'm not hating on it, but like the idea that the Bloodline's not going to get involved when there's a door, throw that out the window.
Yeah, and we've seen it before. Steel cage matches. I mean, I remember Rey Mysterio, I believe it was at like New Year's resolution, whatever year that was, him jumping off the top of like a steel cage into like a mob of people. So I think we're going to end up getting some shenanigans, as we probably should. I mean, they want an electric kind of fire into that USA debut, and you get Roman Reigns coming back. Yep. It's going to happen. I mean, I just can't wait. I would like to hit the fast forward button and just kind of go there already.
Yeah, I mean, I can't. It's steel cage match.
Mm-hmm.
Like that type of stuff. They're so good now about rarely ever using it to where it's like now I'm like it feels like a mini pay-per-view when you got that.
Yeah.
Like next week I'm already giddy. It's like, oh, I get to see Cody Rhodes in a championship match. Depending, you know, the ending is the ending. Whatever's going to happen, right? But and Cody's walking away. But you know, it just feels like yes, this is the type of stuff that I want to see from wrestling, right?
Yeah, and he defends the belt, like you said, on a weekly show, which we talk about all the time. So couldn't give any more props to that. It's a perfect situation.
One thing, I know this opening segment is kind of getting long, but I do want to just touch on what do we think about the move to USA? What's our expectation for the season premiere? That type of thing. Do we think, personally, I would love them to open up, I want the fist back. Give me a fist set again. Bring back the old SmackDown set in some sort of way. You can still do the big screen, but just have the fist sitting on top of it. Bring that back. I want returns. I want Jimmy to return. I want Roman to make a big splash. I want it to feel like big deal.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna get some sort of new set variation, I would assume.
Hopefully.
I would hope at least some sort of different presentation. I would hope for, even if it is just a little tweak, because WWE has stepped their game up so much. I don't think it's going to be crazy different, right? Like they're not going to come out with, like you said, like the fist or like the oval back in the day or something like that, as much as I want them to.
Oh, the oval would be sweet.
Something like that. But returns, Roman, I think that you'd mentioned when we were watching it, maybe a Charlotte return, something like they're going to have multiple returns. It's going to be a big show. It's potentially going to be the best SmackDown that we've seen post-Mania.
Yeah.
We talk about SmackDown struggling a lot. I think this is really the one that kind of sets it off on the right foot and puts it towards kind of gets the ball rolling a little bit.
Yeah, on that note, they're getting the ball rolling. It feels like they're gearing SmackDown up, right? Michael Cole's now there. Roman Reigns is now back and confirmed for next week, but he's back, and hopefully that gets going. So with Survivor Series and stuff coming up, we're getting to that part of the wrestling year where you got big show after big show after big show. I just feel like the SmackDown premiere is going to hit and set us on the right path.
Yeah, it's kind of the perfect time for them to kind of flip the switch. I mean, we've been talking about the lulls forever.
Yeah.
Perfect time to reset and really just kind of bring the juice.
Let's go. Well, let's move it on. Tiffany Stratton is in the back with Pretty Deadly, and Pretty Deadly is talking about their friggin' the show again. I don't know.
The musical.
I tuned them out. But Nia Jax walks up to Tiffany Stratton. She goes, I want to talk to you because the whole locker room seems to be thinking that last week you were going to cash that Money in the Bank in on me. And Tiffany's like, you know what? It's that damn Chelsea Green. She's always spreading rumors. Don't listen to Chelsea. I would never lie to you. And Nia's like, yeah, you know what? You would never lie to me, right? So I'm going to come out to be by your side tonight, your match against Bayley, and I'm going to help you like you helped me last week. And so we got that match. Tiffany Stratton and Miss Bayley, which on the internet, it showed that Bayley was the first match for the women's division when they hit Fox. And then she was the first match on their very last episode of Fox. So
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it was her and Sasha Banks, not the tag champions. It was Bayley, the women's SmackDown champion, taking on the women's SmackDown champion and Sasha Banks taking on the Jesus Christ, I can't talk. Raw women's champion at the time, Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair in a tag team match.
That was 4 horsewomen.
Yeah, 4 horsewomen tag team match. Anyway, this match started off good, back and forth early. It would spill out into the apron, and Tiffany would do Tiffany would do a drop kick to Bayley on the apron. She could kick the shit out of her chin, man. Pretty good. But she would kept lining Bayley up into like a 619, like she was on the second rope. And on the first one, Bayley tackled her, but when she shoulder tackled her, hurt her shoulder. She sold that the rest of the match. But the second time she went for it, she actually did get it, and it kind of just turned out to be like a butt bomb. I don't know. I was like, is she gonna do like a 619 or something? No, she just like landed with her.
Very anticlimactic.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell? Bayley's shoulder injury would become a very, very small part. Yeah. Tiffany would attack it, throwing it off the ring post, stuff like that. Bayley would actually like put Tiffany's feet on the ring apron and then suplex her off it onto the outside. I was like, cool stuff, like that noise. Yeah. But of course, the effery would happen, meaning Nia Jax stuck to her word. She'd come out. When she came out, Bayley would hit a Bayley to belly, but she was too hurt to pin Chelsea Green or Tiffany Stratton. I am just bad with names right now.
Welcome to the show.
When Bayley turned around to see Miss Nia Jax there, Bayley was not very happy. And she was like, screw it. I'm not even going to pin this woman and I'm hurt, but I'm going to go for a suicide dive on Nia Jax. Yeah. She'd suicide dive on Nia Jax. But when that happened, Nia Jax mad. She gets up, but Bayley's already back into the ring. Nia Jax, instead of going after Bayley, wants to have a chit chat with the ref about it. I don't know why, because she's the one on the outside. So, But anyway, the ref is getting distracted by Nia because she's complaining, and Tiffany Stratton gets a roll up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 7.
Yeah,
it was like
6.5, 7, somewhere.
7 count, something around there. But Nia is on accident distracting the ref. When the ref turns around, guess what happens? Bayley hits the rose plant. 1, 2, 3. Bayley takes the win here. This is fun stuff. We're getting more and more every single week. The building blocks are building to a Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax collapse. This is exactly what we wanted from the Money in the Bank being right next to the Women's Championship the whole time. This is fun stuff. Popping it.
Yeah. You talk about the move to USA and started off with a pop. Maybe they cash in next week. I didn't think about that till just now. Maybe they cash in.
Oh, that'd be big.
That would be big. Yeah, the match itself, good match. Yeah. Nice to see Bayley back. Obviously hadn't been in the ring since SummerSlam. She looked good. Her and Tiffany seemed to work a pretty good match. I was pretty entertained all throughout the match. As for the Nia stuff, it's good to continue, like you said, to see that divide, just kind of pushing them against each other more and more. Can't be more excited. I mean, now that I've said that, I feel like they're going to do the cash in next week.
And now that you say that, that'd be freaking awesome. Second, one thing that I would point out, any single time Tiffany Stratton gets into singles competition, she reminds me that she's good enough to be champion. Like, she's ready. And the crowd's completely behind her. She's got her character down. She'd be a great, like, cowardly, heelish champion that also gets it done in the ring, which is like the best sort of mix. Can't wait. And you saying that might be a good call. We might be getting that.
It's kind of what we'd like to see, the cowardly heel, but being good in the ring, like we want to see with Liv. Yeah. That's what we want to see with Liv, is how Tiffany kind of was tonight. They're also already building up extra feuds. Like you have the one with Nia with the cash in. You have potentially Bayley also as well. And you have Chelsea Green there
Yep.
as well. So like you already kind of had the first few feuds whenever that does end up happening. Yeah, I'd bet money on it actually.
Run back Bailey because it was good.
Mm-hmm.
You're popping it though?
Yeah, popping it. Have to.
Kevin Owens is backstage with A-Town Down Under. They've been trash talking Kevin Owens kind of repeatedly over the past couple weeks, and that's what they did here. They were like, ha ha, you lost to Cody, ha ha. And Waller was like, and Cody's not even going to back you up anymore because you guys aren't friends anymore. And Kevin's like, we are friends. We're friends no matter what, through all the pain and the struggle. In fact, fighting your friends makes you closer. You two should fight each other. That'd be pretty fun. Hell, I'll join in. Let's have a triple threat match tonight. I'll go talk to Nick Aldis right now.
Mm-hmm.
I actually really liked that segment. I was
That
like,
segment
that's funny.
it was a lot of fun. You had Waller being kind of like the doofus heel, and then you had Kevin with some nice little one-liners, like get a new shirt, like you don't deserve this. He had an Edmonton Oilers belt on, and then Waller's like, well, I haven't even paid for that yet. Theory was like, I don't think Wayne Gretzky said anything about a triple threat match. So yeah, it was all good stuff.
Short Legado del Fantasma promo. Escobar basically didn't care about them beating Apollo Crews and Baron Corbin last week. He's got his eyes set on bigger things, aka the tag team championships, but we got a long line to get there, so we're gonna get a lot more promos with them.
And then they took a shot at tequila.
Yeah, and then they did. Escobar, see. He should just
I wish he would still do that.
Yeah, no, that should be a sign.
I was kind of hoping he would do that at the end of this promo.
Escobar takes a sip. See.
Sign me up. Yeah.
The much awaited re-debut of Giovanni Vinci happened tonight. Man, this was a classic. This man is repackaged as Mr. Pitbull himself. He's looking like Pitbull. He comes out, he's got a bald head, he's got a little goatee thing going on. He's got like a sweatsuit that goes all the way down.
Yeah.
He's fighting Apollo Crews. He's already standing in the ring.
Yeah. Apollo Crews got the jobber entrance of no entrance at all.
Yeah,
and I said, oh, well, that's probably not good.
That's not good.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
I was wrong.
I mean, there had been it's been a month of weekly promos for his return.
A month, maybe two. I mean,
Maybe
it's
two.
been a while.
So we're all sitting here like, oh, this is going to be good stuff for him, right? Well, he gets into the ring and he's posing, and the ref's like, hurry up, man. You can't just be sitting here posing. And he's like, just let me pose. I'll get in my corner. And the ref's like, all right, hurry up. And Giovanni goes to start taking off his suit. Mm-hmm. And the ref's like, hey, we're on a time limit here. I'm just going to go ahead and ring the bell because he shouldn't take forever to take his suit off, right? Yeah. Rings the bell. He can't get his jacket off. He's got too many muscles under there. Apollo Crews, he takes advantage of this. He rolls him right up. 1, 2, 3. He wins the match in approximately 5 seconds, probably.
I'd take the under. I'd say less than that, probably.
Giovanni Vinci's debut. People may hate this. I thought it was freaking hilarious. I'm going to pop it.
Yeah, I'm going to pop it as well. Yeah, people are upset because like, oh, how could you do that? How could you have him lose the match? Not only lose the match, but just get embarrassed like that. It fits with like his pretentious character that I think we're going to get. Yeah. So it's just another like character development. We got to see him live. As much as you did say, he looks like Pitbull. I felt like in his entrance, don't get me wrong, the music wasn't great. The Tron was non-existent, whatever. But I actually felt some charisma from him versus the Imperium days where he's just very like stoic. It's
a complete 180 from his character. It's perfect. It's like there's no attachment to that Imperium character. They're completely separate humans. It's a restart here. And it does more than just like him walking out and squashing Apollo Crews, right? Like now there's something to talk about next week. You immediately have something a story for him. And if you want to run him with Apollo Crews can go. Mm-hmm. So I'm down for it. Yeah. I thought it was hilarious. Wrestling needs this kind of stuff every once in a while. So give me it.
Yeah, and Vinci can go in the ring as well. I mean, we haven't seen him in forever. And I couldn't tell you last time I've seen singles matches, but the internet exists. If you are curious, like he can go in the ring. So him and Apollo, sign me up.
Chelsea Green and Piper Niven are talking to Nick Aldis when Mission walks in, and Chelsea goes, Chelsea, it's fitting that your match ended in the trash can last week because that's exactly where you put trash. Mm-hmm. And Mishin was like, that was mean of you. I want to beat your ass. And Nick Aldis was like, good idea, Mishin. Let's make that official for tonight.
Yeah, but then Chelsea was also like, oh, I'm not psychologically ready or whatever. Yeah. Not enough red wine and essential oils to get ready for this.
Chelsea Green is freaking money, man. Mm-hmm. Oh. Anyway, we get the Kevin Owens triple threat match. It's Kevin Owens versus Austin Theory and more every time. Grayson Waller.
A-Town Down Under.
Down under. Theory and Waller would actually come out together. They get their dual entrance because we were sitting there like, are they going to come out by themselves or not? Because it's a triple threat match. They came out together, which tells you the story of the match. It was basically a handicap match for Mr. Kevin Owens. But
it didn't go how you,
No.
Didn't go how you would take a normal handicap match.
Kevin Owens was mad from the get-go. He would throw them both out of the ring almost ASAP. Literally ASAP. They'd throw them both out of the ring. He'd do his like patented apron running cannonball where he hits both of them. And then he was throwing them off the barricades, throwing them into the announce tables. While he was beating the hell out of Austin Theory out there, Grayson Waller snuck away, set up a table, which Kevin Owens immediately powerbombed him through said table. And when he powerbombed him through said table, it turned into a one-on-one match against Austin Theory, where Kevin Owens would beat the hell out of Austin Theory. But in a good way, like Theory would get a little bit of offense in, but Theory was taking like the really cool big bumps. He was taking cannonballs and top rope slams. And,
I mean, that's kind of what you got from A-Town Down Under in this match was, hey, you got really cool bumps. You got really cool. I mean, they have a really cool moveset. I like their movesets.
They're great.
Even when they go through the ring and they do that little somersault thing, I really like that. Great. I always do.
Theory would hit the blockbuster to Kevin Owens, but Grayson Waller would try to pin him.
Mm-hmm.
And so Theory was like, what the hell, man? I did the work there. Let me get the pin. If I did the stuff. And they started to get mad at each other, but they still teamed up when they went to the top rope to try to like do a double superplex to KO, but he was able to headbutt them both off and he hit their heads together. And what did Michael Cole call it? The noggin knocker?
That is what he I didn't remember, but as soon as you said it, I was like,
the noggin knocker. They both fall and he hits a senton on Theory, but Waller breaks that pin. But eventually we get Theory going for a move on Kevin Owens with Waller on the apron, and Theory would accidentally shove Kevin Owens into Waller, who falls to the outside. KO would turn around, reverse and move directly into the stunner. 1, 2, 3. Kevin Owens gets the win here, but A-Town Down Under jump him right after. So they end up standing out on top. This was a fun ass match. I can't say anything wrong about this. This was like good old handicap story told in a triple threat match with great characters who just have chemistry. Popping it.
Yeah, I'm going to pop it as well. Another great sell by Theory on the stunner. I mean, the stunner, the choke slam, what can't this man sell?
Oh, yeah.
Probably insurance. So you, cheap pop right there.
Nice.
We talk about triple threat matches, handicap matches. It was kind of basically what it was, but Kevin Owens is a former world champ. He's been booked to be really, really strong. A-Town Down Under has not. So it's kind of what you expect. You expect that level of talent to really dominate the other two.
He's been very. It feels like Kevin Owens is now being pushed further and further away from the title scene, though. I originally guessed that he was going to be in a triple threat match at Bad Blood, but it feels like he's been wrapped up in this A-Town Down Under stuff for the past 2 weeks. I don't really know where you take it with them.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. I mean, I guess next week kind of tells a lot because I don't know if you have it in your notes, but it's A-Town Down Under later on in the match or in the night. Yep. They go request a match to Nick Aldis of Kevin Owens and anybody he wants as his partner.
Yep.
So who knows who that could be?
We're in Seattle next week for the premiere, so I have no idea. But
it might just be Randy. Randy might make his way back. But
yeah, that's true.
That's probably like the safe bet.
Yeah.
But they could also do something crazy.
That'd be awesome. LA Knight, though, he'd come out. Yeah. He'd say that he's already defended this belt twice, which is better than his predecessor did in 400 days. Because he says, you know why he defends it? Because he hits it and he quits it. Yeah. Carmelo Hayes would come out, though, and he'd be like, why are you bragging? You're talking about 2 title defenses, but I have beaten Andrade 2 straight times. So guess what? I should be the next guy to fight you for that belt. And LA Knight was like, I ain't worried about you. I'm worried about winning. And then Melo's like, you should be worried about me. And then Andrade comes out. And Andrade is like, what? We're tied 2-2 in the series, though, bro. That's basically what he says. And he goes, I want a shot at the title. And when he said that, LA Knight basically gave this whole thing where he was like, I don't really care who wins. Somebody wins and then come fight me.
I will say I'm going to take your line. I'm going to take the LA Knight line of the night where he looks at, I believe it's Carmelo Hayes. And he says, quit using your outside voice. Use your inside voice before I take you outside and kick your keister.
Yeah.
Something along those lines. I was like, there it is.
Yeah. It was like you better use your inside voice, or I'm gonna take your keister outside. But yeah. Anyway, they start pushing and shoving. Everybody's getting mad at each other in the ring, mostly Andrade and Mello because they have to settle it. But LA Knight, he got trash talked by both of them, so both of them got a BFT to end the night. This is good stuff. I'm thinking they didn't really are we going 5 here? Is the next match the last match? At least we have a goal. At least we now have a reward for the series of matches, and it's going to be fun. Either one of them could be put on a great match for LA Knight. But in terms of this promo, good enough for me. I got nothing bad to say about it. I'm gonna pop it.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to get that reward that you said. I know they ran a promo package earlier in the night where Michael Cole's like, "This is far from over," so that makes me think that it's going 7. Just because he said that before and they showed it, I feel like they'd cut that out if maybe that was the case.
My only thing is if it goes 7, he's not gonna be at Bad Blood.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
He wasn't at Bash, and I feel like we need to get LA Knight on a big time pay-per-view at some point.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking maybe 5. But
yeah. Or I mean, they could also cram him in. I mean, there's some weeks until
back to back.
Yeah.
Or just say screw it, best 2 out of 3 falls.
Yeah, something like that. That might be what we do.
That'd be sick.
As for the promo itself, I'm dropping it. I'm dropping this one.
I can see that.
There was nothing wrong with it in terms of like, okay, we get the reward now, but this part in the night, LA, you could see he was trying to carry Carmelo, who admittedly, since he's come up to main roster, his mic skills have kind of dropped a little bit. And Andrade, who's never really been that great on the mic by himself, just seems kind of weird to not really flow.
I will say on the LA Knight thing, him being a fighting champion, obviously, yes, all day long.
Right.
But you can tell that he's getting extremely repetitive in his promos because he isn't set in rivalries with anybody.
Right.
So he doesn't have any content and background to pull from in order to get your classic LA Knight promo packages against people. So I want whoever wins the Andrade Mello stuff to hopefully it's not just a one-off. At least give us programming for it, a month of it.
Yeah.
So that LA Knight can actually get back into his bag, because right now he's just coming out doing the hit it and quit it. I ain't gonna lose it because I don't wanna, and because you can't do it, or whatever the hell he says.
Yeah, and you can't take it. Yeah. Oh, yes.
which I laugh every time because I think the dude's freaking
This
funny.
man laughs every single time.
Him and Chad Gable, man, they can do no wrong by me. But I just want him to be in a rivalry for a minute.
Yeah, absolutely, and he's doing what he can. But it's nice to see, like we said, with the Carmelo and Andrade thing. It would have been nice to maybe, I don't know if this was their original plan, to have the winner face him. So
I think they just put on bangers and bangers, and they were like, okay, we got to give him something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they were just like, okay, here we go. This is what we're gonna do.
I wish they do it with Sheamus.
Yeah, it makes me wonder what they do with the loser of that, but I guess that's for another time to figure out.
It's gonna be Andrade, and then they're gonna put him back into Legato.
Oh, he's got that speed title, or he could go against.
Does he?
I don't know. I don't know if anybody watches Speed anymore. They should.
The Lyra Valkyria versus Io Sky match was phenomenal.
Yes.
So.
Maybe he goes against Vinci. Yes.
That wouldn't be bad, actually.
Yeah.
Anyway, Chelsea Green. She's coming out to face Mishin. Mishin is walking out holding her ribs because she did just get absolutely demolished by Nia Jax last week.
One would say annihilated.
Yep. And Chelsea Green, being the smart woman she is, notices all the kinesis tape around her ribs and is like, I should probably hit that area. And she does. She does standing kicks, drop kicks to it. She did this thing where she stood on her back and surfed.
Yeah. It was cool. It was a little small thing, but I really liked it. I really enjoyed that.
Mishin would do this move where she would get Chelsea on the second turnbuckle, spread her legs so they're trapped in the turnbuckle, and then proceed to hit a what's it called, a code breaker from the front.
Mm-hmm. Your code breaker,
I guess.
Yeah, it's a code breaker.
It's like a code breaker on it, which is really cool. We would end up getting a Piper distraction, which would lead to a Chelsea Green roll up, but it's a 1-2 ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Mishin would then throw Chelsea Green out of the ring, and then she would go ahead and suicide dive into both Piper and Chelsea. But Piper would distract, or Mishin would be on the outside with Piper, and Chelsea would roll back into the ring while Piper was talking smack on Mi Shin because obviously you just hit me. I don't feel good about that. And when they were talking smack, Chelsea Green was smart in the ring and started talking to the ref, distracting the ref. So the ref turns away from the Piper Mi Shin action. Piper beats up Mi Shin for a moment, throws her in the ring. The unpretty her from Chelsea Green to Mi Shin. 1, 2, 3. Chelsea Green gets the win here. This was quick, effective. Chelsea Green's hilarious and funny in the ring. I like the fact that we're sending Mi Shin in there. She can work. Her NXT matches are great if you haven't watched them. I wish we'd get her some wins, but then again, I also don't want her beating Chelsea Green. So this works for me. I'm popping it.
Yeah, I'm going to pop this as well. Nice to see Chelsea Green on TV again in a match in her home country of Canada. Like you said, Mi Shin being in there, I have no problem with them featuring her as kind of like a workhorse. Like you said, it would be nice to see her kind of get some wins, but it's also like who they've been putting her up against. It's like,
Nia and Chelsea.
You're not getting them. So I am interested to see, I guess, if this maybe leads to anything. I know like you have the Chelsea Tiffany stuff, like I mentioned before.
I think it's just setting the foundation that like Chelsea gets on everybody's nerves. Mm-hmm. That's really what this is.
That's
like
probably fair.
Chelsea's at the point where they don't have like a set. I don't personally think they have a set rivalry for her. It's just like every episode she pisses somebody off in a little way. Yeah. So that just everybody, all the women hate her.
Yeah, that's a really fair point. The only reason I bring that up is because Tiffany and her 1 and 2 in the women's Money in the Bank. Tiffany and her had a match after that, and then Tiffany again brings her up tonight in the early, opening segment for the women tonight. Yeah. It's just like, well, okay. Like when she said, well, you know who, like when Tiffany said, you know who spreads all those lies? It's Chelsea Green. I was like, oh, see, well, like, yeah, if I could have picked somebody, yeah, I probably would have picked that. But I also in my head wasn't thinking like she's going to say Chelsea Green.
Whenever, if and when Tiffy wins that belt, have her have a good reign and then have Tiffy or Chelsea take it off her at some point. I mean, that rivalry is going to be phenomenal.
Could you imagine them both just in the ring yelling at each other,
screaming? Nobody can hear a word. Chelsea's stomping her feet. I'd be so down for it. Main event of our night, the last match for SmackDown on Fox, and there were multiple black screens because of the crowd chants. Screw you, Fox! Can't wait for USA. Bloodline is taking on the team of DIY and the Street Profits, who had an interview before the match, and they basically said that we aren't friends, or not even that they're not friends, they just aren't close, right? And they've had history together, but Bloodline sucks, so let's team up. Mm-hmm.
But Dawkins was also like, "You guys just got here.
He's a little weird.
We've been dealing with this for 4 years, and I don't know. It was
have they? I mean, yeah, I guess they have, but like no."
I don't know. It made me think that like while they teamed up tonight, the way that he mentioned that, it's like maybe those two go at it eventually.
I'd love it.
Don't get me wrong.
You know how I feel about Street Profits.
I would like that as well. It just seemed weird because why else would you do that? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Anyway, the start of the match would be a little weird. So there's entrances, and the Bloodline was all standing in the ring already, and the Street Profits were doing the Jey Uso thing. They were coming in from the crowd, and I was like, "What's up with that?" And while they were still in the crowd, while they were still in the crowd, DIY makes their entrance, but DIY looks pissed. They got their, the Crayola looking outfits on, and they're pissed and and I was like, "Oh, it makes sense. They're trying to jump these guys." So the Street Profits come from the back and DIY front, and they all just bum rush the ring.
Yeah.
All hell breaks loose.
Yeah, the Street Profits went back to like their NXT entrance days.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's really cool. And then, like you said, it served a purpose, which was nice.
They take everybody out except for the man called Jacob Fatu, who is he's pretty hard to deal with. So he takes out everybody. So everybody else gets thrown out of the ring, and it's all 4 of like DIY and Street Profits, and just Jacob Fatu, and he handles business. He throws everybody out of the ring. But when the match actually starts, it is D'Angelo Dawkins and Tonga Loa. And they're beating the hell out of each other until Gargano does his little slingshot spear into Tonga Loa, who eventually tags in Tama Tonga, and then we get some actual action in because Tonga Loa's there just to take some hits. That's what he does.
How dare you?
But eventually, Jacob Fatu would get tagged in, and this would lead to sort of the story of the match for the Bloodline. Jacob Fatu, whenever he's in the ring, kills everybody. Doesn't matter who's in there, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
He kills them, and then what he does is he just pulls his prey over, and he tags Solo in.
Mhm.
So Solo looks strong because Solo gets to beat up on this guy now.
Yep.
And that was the story of the night for them.
Yep.
And it, you know what? I liked it. Anyway, all stuff would go crazy at the end. So everybody's outside the ring, fighting, and Tommaso Ciampa is up there on top of the ring with Mr. Tongaloa, and he's like, I'm gonna go ahead and superplex Tongaloa off the top rope to the outside into every single person.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody's taken out. And during this time, Jacob Fatu and Solo get back in the ring with Tommaso Ciampa and or no, was it Ciampa? No, it was Montez.
The end is Montez, yeah.
Yes. Let me back up here. So they do that big old spot, but everybody gets back up and everybody's fighting. Montez Ford ends up hitting a 450 to Tongaloa. Fatu would break the pin, and then Fatu would drag Tongaloa across the ring, tag himself in, and guess what happens? Fatu kills everybody.
Cleans house. Yeah.
Cleans house. He's throwing people over the top rope. He does everything. He ends up hitting a big old impaler on Montez Ford. And when he does that, he looks around and he realizes work has been done. Everybody's dead on the outside except for Montez Ford is on the inside. He walks over. He tags in his tribal chief. I love you, Solo. Solo goes in there. He spikes Montez Ford not once but twice to a man who was basically already dead. As I said earlier, that was the story. Solo gets the pin here. Bloodline wins the final match on SmackDown. This is fun stuff. The Jacob Fatu stuff tonight felt even better given what happened earlier in the night with Cody Rhodes specifically pointing that out. So it's now dead in our face and part of the story, verbally part of the story. So this match felt like the perfect icing on that cake for me tonight. Popping it.
Yeah, I'm going to pop this as well. We didn't do a great job summarizing that in terms of how good it was.
Yeah.
This match was really fun. It was really good.
It's just hard to...
it's hard with multi-man, especially tag matches and stuff. But this match, if you haven't seen it, you didn't see it, go watch it.
Yep.
It was really fun. It got to showcase. You had some fun stuff from Montez Ford. DIY did their thing. Dawkins looked pretty good. Bloodline, as you said, the acknowledgement from WWE of, hey, everybody knows how good Fatu is. We're going to let our champ say it. And then he just comes out and he super kicks Dawkins. He does a Samoan drop where he throws Ciampa in the air. Yeah, I love that Samoan drop. And then he super kicked, I think, Gargano. And then he did the Impaler. He was just clearing house. And it's some people, they get in the ring and they do these types of things. And you're like, man, I'm tired of this. I don't like this. But with Fatu, it's so believable.
Yeah, right. With Fatu, it doesn't just feel like, okay, he's scripted to clear house right now. It looks like, okay, yeah, he's clearing house, and what are they going to do about it?
Mm-hmm.
What are they going to do about it? Are we going to stop this guy? He looks, like you say, he looks believable. It looks like he's killing these people, which is that's right up my alley. Right. I love that type of stuff. Stiff, hardworking. Can't fake throwing a guy 10 feet in the air, catching him into a Samoan drop. That's insane strength. I mean, and now with the Cody stuff, him pointing it out, we got good story cooking here in the Bloodline, man.
Yeah, we talked for a while there how the Bloodline kind of dragged on, and at points it still kind of does. But I really thought even the opening part, I thought Solo, when him and Cody were on the mic, I thought Solo did a decent job tonight. Sometimes on the mic and live stuff, he doesn't do very well, so that's why they have to always kind of record his stuff. I thought he did well in that. And then the Fatu stuff there, the Fatu stuff in the match, Bloodline standing tall. It's everything you need for Roman to just come back next week. They really asserted their dominance this week. And so whenever Roman does come back next week, I don't know if they'll pull the trigger on it next week, but he's going to need some help. And it actually feels believable with Fatu in there. And really solely because of Fatu.
Is Fatu the most dangerous man in the WWE?
Yeah, probably so.
If anybody was booked in a singles match right now with Fatu, you taking Fatu?
The only person at the top of my head that I would think I would probably hesitate with is probably Braun Breaker.
Really?
But other than that, I think he.
Oh God, I want to see that match.
Yeah. Braun Breaker's the first one that comes to mind of like these how they've booked him of being these like unstoppable badasses, for lack of a better term. Like he's really the only one on Raw that I see being that. Oh, Bronson Reed, I guess as well.
No, I would still take Fatu. I think the only person that I would take is Cody, just based off the fact that it's Cody Rhodes.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's fair, but I just mean like believability. Like if Cody gets in,
believability.
you know what, yeah, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. No, 100%. 100%. If it, then it's 100% Fatu. Yeah, your list is right. Then it's Fatu, Bronson Reed, and Braun Breaker. Jesus, we need a Braun Breaker Fatu match. I don't know how you do it,
or we just. I mean, yeah. In the meantime, give me a Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed. Obviously, that's for Raw. This is SmackDown, but golly, sign me up for something like that.
They're doing a great job with Jacob Fatu. Keep letting that man kill everybody because it's fun to watch, man. Woo!
Yeah.
Love it.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
It's Jacob Fatu versus the Terror Twins. Oh.
Well.
Rhea Ripley must pose. I'm joking, people.
She pins Jacob Fatu with a pretzel pin thing.
Oh my God.
Just everything we just said down the drain at that point.
Anyway, the final episode on SmackDown was an overwhelming pop for us with only one drop on the night. Great ending to a decent, I would say a great era on Fox.
Yeah. I mean,
the Roman era.
Exactly. The Roman era, the Bloodline era. It's either one of those two. Bloodline stands tall at the end here, as they did for so many years of it being on Fox. It was enjoyable on Fox. I'm much more excited for it to be on USA.
Yep.
Can't wait for that next week.
Cannot wait. Follow us on all of our socials at COD WrestlePod, COD WrestlePod. Listen to our podcast wherever you get your podcast, Spotify, Apple, etc. And then if you want to join our Discord to talk to us, join it. Linktree is in our bio, has all of our socials. Go ahead and follow it. We love talking to all you guys throughout the day on that Discord. It's good stuff. Anyways, I'm Will. That's Brandon. We are the Cousins of Destruction Wrestling Podcast. We will see you next time.